How's it going, everybody? Welcome back into the shop. We are on part 2 of AR-15. If you're new to the channel, I have two style of videos, kind of a quiet video where I just work and make something, and then I have these kind of vlog style behind the scenes where I talk through projects and try to teach a little bit and tell you what's going on. So that's, if you see the AR, you're on more of a vlog style video. If you don't see the AR, then it's probably not going to be any talking, it's just going to be the sound of me working. Okay, with that clarified, let's jump right into this. In the first part of this video, we laid up the veneers, made the cores, put it all in the bag, and in this part we're going to assemble the box, put the door on it. We're actually going to be using my new X-Carve CNC, which I'm pumped to show you guys. So let's jump right into this and get started. We're going to start off on the table saw cutting our miters. Let's do this. Okay, so there's always that point in every project where things can go wrong, where it gets difficult, where it gets challenging, and you have to be able to pinpoint those points in every project. This is one of those points right now where we're going to cut the miters out. We've put a lot of time into this panel. This is an expensive panel. From a professional business standpoint, that's, you know, a little more than half a day's of labor in the shop. So I don't want to lose that. I want to make sure I'm paying attention to what I'm doing, that I'm thinking this through, measuring twice, and not making any errors at this point. I want to get this right. So you have to be able to know when you're at a crucial point in any project, and to take it slow and to just take your time and get it right. Alright, so we got all the miters cut. That went really smooth. You can see, it's kind of cool to see how that veneer works with the plywood once you cut into it, how well it's laid up on there. This is really good plywood. There's no voids in it, so it's gonna do a great job. Now, the next step in this is to cut a groove for the back. So I'll make a little tongue on my back piece, and it'll drop into a groove on the back. This is pretty simple. I'll set up the table saw just to run that groove. I just need to make sure I place it in the right spot so that my back sits just about flush with that back edge. Okay, so I came in this morning and got the box, the back of the box all kind of figured out. The reveal is really looking good. I'm happy with it. Everything is squared up. Very close to being ready to glue up. For the hinges, I'm using Brusso knife hinges. These are just a two-part hinge. I had the wrong hinges ordered. I was planning on using these, but these are designed to work where you have your sides are offset back, then your door makes up for that offset. So your top and bottom hang over the door and your side of your door sits flush over your frame. that's not how this is. Our door's inset into this frame, so we actually need these little L bracket hinges, and they'll sit right about like that, and then the door can pivot out and around the actual box. And I'm a little unsure if I should mortise the pockets for these before or after I glue up the box. I've kind of been racking that in my brain a little bit. I think if I wait till I glue up, I'll run into a problem where I can't really easily cut the mortise because the inside of the box is only about 8 7/8 inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call a good buddy of mine, Philip Morley, who also has a YouTube channel and is here in Texas, not far from my shop. He has worked with these before, and I'm sure he will be able to tell me what the best way to do this is.
Hello?
Hey man, that's better.
Hey.
How's it? Doing good, man. How are you? Good. They have some really good literature to get the measurements in the right placement. I just didn't like. I was racking my brain on whether I should do it before or after I glue up the box.
Yeah, do it before, man.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Yeah.
I know. I've seen Clark and several other people on Instagram, and they're always doing it before. They put a little dry fit together, figure it out, blue tape, cut it, take it apart, mortise it. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's a little tricky with the miters, but because if you don't get those glued up just right, but I think I've got those dialed in pretty good. So.
Alright, well, take care.
All right, man. See ya. Bye. All right, so that answers that. Philip kind of confirmed what I thought. We're gonna go ahead and cut out the pockets, mortises for these before we assemble the box. I think it'll be a lot easier. Go check out Philip's channel. He's super talented, and there are some cool videos up there, and we've done some collaborations together. So appreciate it, Philip, for helping me out, man. Okay, so now that I have all that figured out, I'm going to take this opportunity. Typically, you would cut the mortises for these hinges with chisel. You lay it out with a knife and a chisel and cut it by hand, which is great. But I'm going to take the opportunity to use my very new X-Carve CNC machine to actually CNC the hinge pockets into the case. X-Carve was kind enough to allow me to build one and send it to me for free. So I'm looking forward to getting familiar with it, getting used to CNCs, and then set it up, and we'll cut these on the X-Carve. So one of the great things about Inventables and X-Carve is their software easel. It's super easy. This is the first time I've used it. In about 15 minutes, I picked up pretty much the basics of the software and was able to set up this little hinge pocket here. You've got all the parameters you can control, the depth of cut. It's basically a CAD and CAM software all in one package, and it's super intuitive and very easy to follow. There it is. Here's a look at our reveal. That back will glue in place permanently. It doesn't move because it's veneered, so we don't have to worry about wood movement. We do have some gaps on these two bottoms, especially there. It doesn't look too good. So I'll try to use some clamps to pull that. The top here is looking really good, but let's see if we can't get a few clamps on this and just pull that together. Pretty good joint there. If you see that little hairline gap, we'll fix that. It's not a big deal. Kind of a gap there, but again, those are easy to fix. Looking down at it, you can see. If I can get that in focus, all these miters are pulled together well. This distance to where that hinge pocket starts is crucial to have the exact same, and we're at 16th on both those, so that's good. All this glue in the inside. Now what I'm going to do is I've got an old cabinet scraper blade here. I'll just use that to scrape that glue out and clean it off with a kind of a wet paper towel. Okay, so here it is. It feels really good to have everything to this point. It looks great. The miters all came out nice. I'm very pleased with those. The only thing that disappointed me a little bit is these front corner edges here, which if I can get it in focus, they blew out a little bit when I cut them on the table saw. Because when you look at it, you can, if you know what you're looking for, you can see that blowout in some of the corners, and it's just not as clean looking. I don't know if I can get that. Yeah, so you can kind of see that on that hinge corner. The back panel looks good. The reveal is really almost spot on, and it's glued in there, so it's not moving. Nice and solid. So the next step here is to get our door and cut it to fit the opening, which should be fairly simple, and then cut the mortises in the top and bottom of the door and go ahead and start fitting it. Okay, so you can see what we got here. It's looking pretty good. You know, that reveal is going to get cut in half because we're sitting flush on the bottom. This is perfect here on this side. This side is good, pretty good at top. Bottom is a little tight. So we'll do the rest of our adjustments with the hand plane. Okay, so with the door fitted, now I can move on to hinge pocketing the door. I start by marking it out with my marking gauge. That marks the width of the hinge. And then I use my router to route out most of the way. So you gotta be careful with the router because you only have that 5/8 door thickness to rest it on. So it's easy to tilt, so you just gotta be real slow and careful with it. And then I finish the final sizing by using my chisels. It's a fairly easy process. The most important part of it is that you just lay it out properly and get the pocket in the proper place. Okay, so now is the moment of truth. We're gonna slide this on. I don't have anything screwed down, but I've got pretty good mortise fits here. So the way we're gonna do this is just slide it right in like so. Give it a few taps to get it in there. This one is not in. There we go. And there it is. That's a pretty good fit. Okay, so I've got the door pretty much done and ready to hang. You know, you can see I put a little trans tent inside the hole. It's back cut about 1/8 of an inch, so when you reach in, you got a little something you can grab onto, and I like the way that looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some oil on this case, put some oil on the door, and then get the bullet catch in, and put the hardware on, and it pretty much ties it up. See? It's getting really hot. Okay, you ready to do this? Okay, Johnny, watch. Here it goes. Don't touch. Don't touch. Check it out. Oh, nice, bud. Thanks. Yeah, put your hand right here. give that a shot. Help me again. No. Okay, so it is pretty much finished. It really works well. The ball catch is lined up good. You hear that nice clicking noise. And you got good action on the door. Gaps are all good. We just need to get a few coats of oil on it. Johnny, what do you think? Do you think it's cool? Do you like it? What is that, a screw? Alright, why don't you say bye to everybody because we're going inside.
Bye.
Alright. Okay, so that wraps up this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that build. It was a really fun build to make that little box. It's super challenging, and I love doing little projects like that. I had one question in the first video about why I use the veneer. Why not just use solid? Well, there's a couple reasons. And the first and the biggest reason is the door would not work if it was solid. It would swell and shrink, and when it swelled, it would get stuck in the opening because I wanted real tight reveals. It also would bow, and it wouldn't work because it's a solid slab door. It's not a frame and panel. Same with the back of the box. The reveal wouldn't stay the same because it would be swelling and shrinking. So I wanted that stability. I also wanted to control my grain and how it flowed around the box. I wanted to be able to book match things and just kind of have this control over it. And when you cut your own veneers, you can do that a lot better than just using a single board. I just thought it would be fun to do the veneers on this project. I need to get more experience doing them, so that's another reason why I did it. So hopefully that answers that question. As always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. So we have some really exciting videos and projects coming up, so you guys stay with me. And as always, I appreciate your support, and I'll see you next time.